Good afternoon, all my crafty friends. Welcome to my Coffee and a Card Facebook Live on Wednesday afternoon rather than Tuesday morning, but it still works, so it is fine. What a weekend I had, guys. Holy smoke, I really feel my age after I do a weekend like this one. I don't know, I used to raise kids and grandkids and have no problem, but boy, this weekend wiped me out. If you're hopping on, say hi. I see an eyeball on, so I'm going to take a second and just go to my page and see if I'm actually up and running where I should be. So bear with me. There I am. Yay. So if you're hopping on, be sure to say hi. So if you didn't know, this past weekend, I spent, hi Sharon, 4 days at my daughter's home watching her 5 kids, ages 6 through 17, while she and her husband were gone to Florida. She won an award for a top salesperson. She does fantastic with the company she works for, 3 Day Blinds, and it was an honor, and they sent them down there, and I went over to the house. So I had the 5 kids and the dog, Togi, and it was crazy. I mean, I love being there with them so much, but I normally sleep until 8 o'clock because I'm retired. I was getting up at 5:45 in the morning to get them to school on time, get them to the bus. I was running kids to basketball games and soccer practices and birthday parties, and it was crazy. And some of those things were over an hour away each way. So I'm exhausted. So thank you for bearing with me when I wasn't on this morning. I needed to sleep in a little bit and catch up, and I'm still tired. It'll take a day or two, I am sure. But we had a great time, and I can handle it about once a year. So maybe next February she'll win again, and I'll be doing this all over. Let's see what I want to tell you. It is Wednesday, February 6th, 2024. Happy birthday shout out to my daughter Heidi, the one that just got back. It's her birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday, sweetie. Hope it is a great day for you. I'm coming to you from Middle Tennessee, from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where it is a beautiful blue sky and sunshine day. High, I think right now we're at 56 and it's supposed to get up to 57 or 58. Just gorgeous weather. Nothing to complain about here on that front. My name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I have now been a demonstrator for over 27 years, and I love what I do. Stick around with me till the end of this video where I'm going to tell you a little story about my Stampin' Up! Anniversary. And I'm also do a small giveaway for any orders over the next few days. So stick around and I'll give you that info. I'll also post that information on my Facebook page later on today or tomorrow or whenever I get to it after a few more naps. Anyway, let's see what else I want to tell you. I'm here to do. Yeah, pretty much that is it. Be sure to say hello if you're coming on. I love to know you're watching. I love to hear from you. I love your comments as always. If you're watching the replay, let me know that also. And you can get an entry for every single comment you leave toward a chance to win the card that I'm making today. So every comment you leave counts as one entry. You have all day today and all day tomorrow till midnight to enter on this post, and I'll draw a winner the next morning. Congratulations to my last winner, Frances Mardis. She won that watercolor baby wipe card we made last time. And everyone who earned prizes for my giveaways for orders, for the sketch challenge, for my last video, all those prizes will go out in the next couple days. Everything was on hold this last 4 days while I was gone. Sorry. So hi, Margot. Oh, nice weather. Yes, snow melting. It's always nice to get that nice weather. So leave your comments. If you can share me to your homepage, to a crafty friend, to a crafty page, please do so and let me know, and I will give you bonus entry for that comment. So yay to that. I think that is all about that. I think I've told you all of the really important stuff for that. So we're going to go down to the table. I'm going to turn you around. I might have to straighten this out again. Every time it seems like I think I have it just in the right place and then I don't. So give me just a minute to make sure where I am. I'm going to pull this down just a tad, but I think we're pretty close to where I want to be. So this is me, Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. You can find my blog at crazystampinglady at blogspot.com, my email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady, and my YouTube is under my name, Maureen Rolfes. You can shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. And if you do shop with me this month, please use my current hostess code. This is my February code, and it is always at the beginning of any of my February videos. It already is pinned up to the top of my Facebook page. It's under the Shop Now tab on my blog, so there's lots of places to find it. When you use that code and your order is under $150 pre-shipping and handling and tax, I earn product rewards on that I can then turn around and give back to you guys in my giveaways. When you place an order over $150 pre-shipping and handling and tax, then don't use that code. You will still qualify for any bonuses from me in that case, but don't use the code because I want you to earn your hostess benefits, and that's what will happen if you don't use the code and you're over $150. I just noticed that my fingernail polish matches our mini catalog here almost exactly. Wow, on screen for sure. Anyway, that's my hostess code. I do have some beautiful cards to share with you today that came in the mail this past week, so let me get right to that. Here's my first one, and this is from my friend Sharon Rowland, who I just said hi to a few minutes ago, so I think she is watching. It is a different fold than I've ever seen. It's kind of like the Joy fold a little bit. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it's a thank you card, and it opens up from this side, and then it opens up like this, like a little Z, and it is beautiful. I just love it. I always love to see a new fold, especially when they're not above my grade level, when they're pretty easy and I can figure them out. So thank you, Sharon. It's a beautiful card, and thank you for sending it. I really appreciate it. And then my next card is from my friend and team member, Dolly. It is also a thank you card, and it's kind of the same type of fold on this side. It just doesn't have that flap that comes over. Beautiful, beautiful card. It's a Z fold card of a sort, and so is the other one because they form that Z on the top. And I love it. And Dolly, I just want you to know you're in my prayers, your brother's in my prayers, and I really, really appreciate this beautiful card so much. And then the third one is from my friend Jan. Now I'm going to show you the envelope first. This came in yesterday's mail, and it looks like it had a rough trip. What do you think? It was pretty beat up. It was torn in several places. I cannot imagine what happened to this card on the way from Prescott, Arizona to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But it had a ride for sure. And it's a cute card, and it's pretty flat, so I don't think it would have caught in the machines. But look at this. It is now a wavy card because of the way it went through the mail. Jan, it's an adorable card. I really love it. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. But I can't believe it. In fact, that tear on the outside of the envelope, one of them's here, and here you can see the card was actually completely torn. Again, if cards could talk and we could find out the story of what exactly happened, it may be very interesting. Thank you, Jan. I do love it. And I love the story that goes with it. And then my final card that I'm going to show you is just gorgeous. And it is made with the dies and set that we're going to use on today's card. And I'll talk about that more in a little bit. It is a beautiful card from my friend Carol, and you've heard me mention Carol before. She lived in Prescott, Arizona, and I met her there, and she's a friend, and she's on my team, and she comes to classes. And when she moved to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, or moved to Tennessee, we were talking about it, and we ended up moving here, and we actually both ended up right here in Murfreesboro. So this card was given to me with a really special gift as a housewarming and just friendship gift. It was a 6x6 coffee style quilt. So 6 feet by 6 feet, not inches. I think it's about 6 feet by 6 feet. Quilt, all coffee themed, that she made for me. It is so gorgeous, you guys. I am going to be using it part of the year as a tablecloth display where it won't get dirty. I won't let it get dirty, but it'll be there so everyone can see it. And I'm going to be posting pictures of that here on this page and on my personal page, hopefully today or tomorrow. So watch for pictures of it. But this was the card she gave me with it. And I have overlooked this so many times in the catalog. But the dies in this set are amazing. And when we play with them today, you'll get to see them closer up. But beautiful card, Carol. Thank you so much. And thank you again for your friendship and for that amazing quilt. So let's get this out of the way. So February's bundle bonus is the Painted Lavender Bundle. This is an amazing bundle of products. It is super gorgeous. I've used it so much already. It was like a #1 seller when the mini catalog came out. It wouldn't probably have normally been my bundle pick for this month, but I do my bundle tutorial with a group of other demonstrators. We collaborate and make it. And this happened to be the bundle for this month. So this is the one that we're going to be using. I think some of these products, like maybe the dies, are out of stock right now. So you might have to wait till later in the month, but they will be back in stock. And anyone who purchases this bundle from me in the month of February, I will give 100% of my profits to the Doors of Hope Ministry here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's an incredible ministry. You can learn about it at opendoorsofhope.org. And then also, if you purchase the Sunday following your purchase, or as soon as I can get it to you, I will send you that tutorial bundle with additional ideas that you can use to make cards with this bundle. So again, it probably wouldn't have been my choice this month just because it's not available and because so many people have ordered it already, but it works out with the collaborative group, and so that is my bundle bonus, and I hope you'll consider purchasing it. My free virtual monthly card class. So my card class for purchases in the month of January is going to be held next Monday. So be aware of that. It'll be right here on this Facebook page. It's an open class, so anyone can tune in and watch me put the projects together. But those of you that placed an order with me last month should have gotten those kits in the mail already, and I hope you can join me, and I'll send you a reminder. But now in the month of February, if you purchase a $50 order using this hostess code, you will get 3 free card kits from me for 3 different cards that we'll put together. A $75 order will get you 3 card kits and a bonus project. And a $100 order will get you 3 card kits, a bonus project, and a half a pack of a current embellishment. Those February kits will be sent out hopefully on March 1st. And the online card class will be on Monday, March 11th, 2024 at 11 a.m. Central Time. Now, if you get the kits and you can't be there for my class time, no worries, because those videos are stored in the video section and you can go back and watch them anytime and put your kits together. And then this week, Stampin' Up! Released More to Celebrate. More products that you can choose from as your freebies with a $50 or a $100 purchase. These are current products that we have in the catalog, but they are great. A couple of my favorites are the whole pack of the new core color Stampin' Right markers. I think I'm going to get this because I try to have 2 markers of every color. But when I bought this core kit, I only bought 1. And so there's several of these that I only have 1 of. So my aim is to do another order so I can get those free. And then there's a couple kits from our kit collection on here that you can get free. Our Dragonfly Punch is available. These little stripes and splatter embossing folders that I showed you a couple videos ago, those are one of the options. Some of the Designer Series papers. And then we're going to be using today the Sweet Thoughts Memories and More cards. These were a favorite, and I purchased a couple of packages of them already, and I really want to share them with you today, especially because they came up on here. So be aware when you order for Celebration, you can still get the products out of this catalog. I think they're all still available. I know that the stippled, yes, the softly stippled was unavailable for a while, but I think it's back, and if it's not, it will be soon. So all of these are still available, but now you have the options of those other products also. And when you place your order and you get to the end of it and it says you earned free Celebration, it'll show you all the options that you have to choose from. So that'll be great. Mini catalog. We are using something out of here today. So this mini catalog ends the end of April, and I have fallen in love with almost everything in here, although I have not bought everything. I really haven't. But I did get just recently the Thoughtful Expressions bundle. So it is a stamp set and dies, and here are just some beautiful examples made with this, but I'm going to be using those today with that Memories and More card bases and envelopes. And then out of the annual catalog, we're just going to be using some basic items as usual, but this catalog is also good through April. So let's talk about what we're doing today. So here is the product that you can earn free of charge with a $50 order for Celebration now. It's called Sweet Thoughts Memories and More Cards and Envelopes. And in this pack, you're going to get, let me see if I can divide them here so you can see. You're going to get 10 card bases of 2 different designs, or same design, 2 different colors. And then you're going to get 10 of each of the coordinating envelopes that go with them. So that is 20 cards and 20 card bases. It is a wonderful value. They are so beautiful. I hope you can see on screen how pretty they are, but in person, they are even more lovely. I fell in love with them right away. The main colors are Pretty Peacock and Calypso Coral, but it has other coordinating ones on the inside of the envelopes here. Just lovely, just lovely. So we're using these today so you can see them in action since they're one of the new Celebration items. And with that, we're going to be using the Thoughtful Expressions stamp set, which is right here. It is gorgeous. Beautiful flowers and hummingbirds, sketchy images, sentiments that say, where in the world would I be without you? Sometimes there are no words. Enjoy your day. You're in my thoughts today. Gorgeous sentiments. And then they come with these dies. Now I've pulled out the dies I used today, so I'll have to show you those as we go along. But let me get this out of here, because this is really what sold me on the whole bundle, were these layered dies in this gorgeous design and in this gorgeous design. And they are embossed, debossed, cut, I don't know what. They're actually die cut. Little bitty dots on both sides of the die cut with this design and little bitty dashes on this one. And they are just gorgeous. And look how many you get. I have 2 of these removed. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of this size and 4 layers of this size, plus dies to cut out all the images that are in here, and dies that give you some little flowers and extra leaf foliage. It is a great, great set. I am so glad I got it. And when I saw Carol's beautiful card, I just knew it was worth investing in. So let me grab the card that we're going to be making today. So here's that envelope. And they already come just beautiful like this. So the front of the envelope where you put your address is bordered with that design, but then it's just a neutral part here for you to write on, which I love. And then the back of the card opens up, and inside the envelope is that gorgeous design. Now, I've seen a bunch of demonstrators cut these apart already and use this paper as a DSP on their cards. And I can see why, because it is lovely. But we're going to use this envelope just the way it comes like that. I just stamped the little flowers on here to match what we're doing. And then here is the card I made. I don't know if you can see the shimmer on it, but my little hummingbird is covered in Wink of Stella, and in person it is so pretty. But yes, this is the card, just using that card base. And then inside I just stamped the coordinating little flowers once again. Now what I love about this is, you know, when we make cards, we're always looking for a way to make that card pop a little bit. And so we're doing tone-on-tone stamping on the background, or we're running a layer through the embossing folder. But these cards and envelopes come with that design already on there, which just gives you that extra depth on your card without you having to do anything at all. So here's the pieces for this card. Let's see if I can get them all out of here. We're going to use the envelope, and I'm just going to fold that over and bone fold it. And then if we get a chance, I'll stamp the flowers. Otherwise, I'll do it if it runs too late afterwards. But it will be on the card you win if you win this card. So remember to leave all your comments. Every comment is one entry toward winning this card. So then I'm going to take this card that was already pre-scored, and I'm just bone folding it both directions like I always do. I just love the crease that that gives you on the inside, a really nice finished crease. This is our card base. Now I already ran the largest of this layer through my cut and emboss machine. You can see how pretty that is and how big it is. It probably is, let me put it on here once, almost 3 3/4 inches on the widest part. And you can turn it, so you could turn it to have this little scallop, big scallop, little scallop at the top, or you could turn it and have a big scallop, little scallop, big scallop at the top, and you get 2 different looks from that, so you can decide when you make your card. But what I love about it is when you cut these out, is they have those little die cut dots all around the edge. I'm trying to see if I can see that on screen. Pull it in a little bit. All around the edge of the piece you cut out, as well as all around the edge of the piece that's left, the negative. And that way you can keep this piece. If you center it when you're cutting it out, you can keep this piece and use it as a layer on another card, and you'll have that beautiful little trim on there. So I am hanging on to that. I plan to use it on another card. Sometimes I like the negatives better than the positives on my card. So this is the layer we're using. And then I cut out 2 layer sizes down. So it's the largest one and then the 3rd largest one right here. And I cut this one out of basic white, and it does the same thing. The outer layer had those little dots die cut just like this one is. And we're going to use this for our sentiment. And I want my sentiment to go so that it's a large loop, a small loop, and a large loop. Just that's the way I chose. So I'm going to lay this on my mat, and we're going to stamp my sentiment on there. And I love the way I can use the grid to line this up. So again, this is the glass mat, still available for new demonstrators till the end of celebration, which ends this month, as a bonus product if you sign up. If you have any questions on that, please ask, because to me, this is the best value I have ever gotten for something like that on one of those freebies. Excuse me one second while I take a sip of my tea. I have my peppermint tea. I'm being a good girl. I'm cutting back on my coffee. And it is delicious, and it helps my throat when I'm talking. So we're going to grab our pretty Peacock ink pad. And on this one, I'm going to put the sentiment, "You're in my thoughts today." So let me just ink that up. And then I'm going to stamp that right onto this piece of white. And I'm going to bring it down just slightly below the center, and not much. But on the other one, I put it right at the center, and it made it a little hard to fit the flowers in the bird at top. So I'm bringing this down just a hair, not very far at all. And that pretty peacock is such a gorgeous color. I just love how rich and beautiful it is. We're going to set that aside. And then I'm going to put these together before I put them on my card, okay? I got to make sure, did I do that right? Maybe I messed up on that. I might have messed up. Oh no, there it is. I just got to get it the right direction. Sorry about that. So before on my other card, I didn't put these together before adding them to my card. And when I added this layer, I did kind of mess up. It wasn't exactly straight. So I'm going to put them together, even though it's with dimensionals. I'm going to do it ahead of time this time and see if that gives me better luck so I get it straighter. I think my eyes were just a little crooked from lack of sleep for the last 4 days, but maybe not. So Heidi and Aaron's dog, whenever they're gone, it gets very, very nervous. It's worried about defending the kids and taking care of the house. And so the whole time I'm there, I'm like trying to get the dog to stop barking or to calm down. He's normally such a good dog. And even now he was good, but you can just tell that he misses his owners and takes his responsibility of guarding the children very, very, as a very important duty. So, okay, so let's lay this on. I just used dimensionals on the back of the white layer. I'm trying to line up my design so that the outer design matches the inner design, and I think that worked better. Now we're going to put seal on the back of here, which is a little more difficult when you add the dimensionals, but it'll work. I just won't have, I might have to feed it again if it doesn't go because it's not on a completely flat surface, but it seems to be working just fine. Okay, so my seal is on there. My sentiment is on. We're going to place this onto our card. Again, maybe just a 1/4 inch lower on the card so that the top has a little bit more space for the bird and the flowers, and centered side to side. So I'm counting my little triangles on there, trying to get it as straight as I can. And I think that is not straight. We're going to try that one more time. Good thing is if you don't push seal down, I told you this before, you can pull it back up. Until you really give it a firm pressure, you can pull it back up. This card design, which I love, it's kind of like a lattice, so it's perfect for floral cards and spring cards, but it actually is a little bit of an optical illusion for me. I have trouble following the lines to lay that down. And again, that could be lack of sleep, guys. It really could. I'm just telling you, it really could. But we're going to try this one more time and see if I can get it a little straighter. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, there we go. And it also could be lack of coffee, because you guys know me and my coffee, and cutting back has not been easy in any manner. So before I came on screen, I stamped my hummingbird with Memento ink, let it dry for a while, cut it out. Well, actually, I colored it first. I colored it, covered it with Wink of Stella, that again, hopefully you can see on here because it's gorgeous, and then cut it out with the dye. I did that because I didn't want you to have to watch me with all the coloring. I'm going to do a little coloring in a minute, but I did want to show you, let's turn this over and put him on the back, the colors that I used for him. So I started out with light Pretty Peacock and colored all of the blue areas with a light Pretty Peacock. Then I came in with my dark Parakeet Party and colored all of the green area that I decided on. And if you've ever really seen hummingbirds, they can have some of the most vibrant colors. So I wanted that vibrancy to come through it, and this color worked perfect for it, but it was almost too bright. So after I did that, I came back in with my light Old Olive marker, and I went over almost all of the green, every part except for one little hint right here in the middle where I wanted it a little brighter. And what that did is it just mellowed out that parakeet. It didn't make it as dark as the Old Olive, but it didn't make it as bright as the parakeet. And to me, it turned out exactly the color I wanted. So don't be afraid to layer your colors and play with them and get the colors that you want. And then I took my dark Daffodil Delight and I did the eye and the beak and a couple little spots where I just blended in a little bit of the yellow to pull out that color on there. I took my dark Parakeet and went around just the tips of the feathers, so they're a little bit darker, and right at the top of his head here, just a little bit darker. And I just blended my colors as I went, and I'll show you a little more when I do my leaves in a minute. And I think that was it. That was how I finished the bird. And then once it was dry, I covered it completely with Wink of Stella, so my whole little bird just shimmers. So that's our hummingbird. And then I stamped the flowers also using Memento Black ink, let it dry. And on this one, I cut it out already because I can't get my cut and emboss machine underneath my stand here. It's just not high enough. I thought I could adjust it, but we couldn't get it to adjust and still film well. So this is where we're at. But I'm going to finish coloring this and give you a few tips on it. Excuse me. So for this, there's some little kind of loopy images around the flowers. I don't know what they're supposed to be. I think they're just there to give it kind of like a background, like there might be flowers behind it, or just a little bit more of that airy feel. But I took my dark Petal Pink marker, which is still a very light color, and I came in and I colored in on all those kind of just circular spots around the edge. And to me, it made it look like there were flower petals of a different color behind it, and I liked that. And it dries pretty light, so it doesn't overwhelm in any way. And then I also took the same color and did the center of my flower. So you can see how it comes on dark, but it will lighten down to this really pale color in just a few seconds. So that's the center of my flower. And then I did not have Calypso Coral blends. I forgot to look up if they're available. I don't know why I don't have them. I have so many blends and I try to get them all, but I didn't. So I'm actually just going to use my Calypso Coral Stampin' Write marker. So this is just a hint that you can combine these on projects. You don't have to use all blends or all Stampin' Write markers for that matter. You can combine them. But the Stampin' Write marker won't give you that ability to blend the colors. But in this case, it doesn't really matter. I'm just coloring these little petals on here and then coming right down to where that blend was. And if you go over it a little bit, it's not going to matter. We're just coloring this flower. I come up here, get this one. So I don't know if any of you still have teenagers at home, but let me tell you, feeding 5 kids, 3 of them who are growing teenagers and busy and in sports, wow, I cannot believe the amount of food those kids can eat. It's normally just Paul and I, and we don't eat that much. I'll have leftovers for 3 days when I make a meal. That did not happen there. There was never a leftover to be put away, no matter how much I made. So that was kind of fun. I never had teenage boys, and Xavier is a young man, and boy, the amount of food they can eat. So there's my flower, and you can see how those colors go perfectly together. It doesn't matter that one was a marker and one was a blend. And then I'm going to take my light Old Olive, and for this I'm going to use the little nib end, and we're going to color these leaves. And they're tiny little leaves, so usually when something's really tiny, I don't worry about blending another color on top of it. It just doesn't seem necessary because it looks so pretty, just the way it is. But on my other leaves, they're a little bit larger. So I'm going to start with my dark Old Olive and come in here and just go around the edge of these, just with a little border of the dark. And then I'll usually put a little dark along the edge by the flower, like a shadow where that might be laying against the flower. We'll do the same thing on this one. And then I'm going to come back in with my light Old Olive, and we're going to blend the color. So I'm just going to fill in with my light, and I'm using the brush end because you get a little more alcohol, and just run it up against the dark, and those colors will just gradually blend together, but you will still see the shading. So it will look like it's lighter on the inside, darker on the outside. Just like that. And then don't forget, guys, if you go out of the lines at all, so I don't even know if you can see it on screen, but I have one tiny little dot that went out. We do sell the color lifter. I tend not to use the nib end because when the color lifter sits for a long time, it can sometimes build up excess liquid on that end. At least that's what I found. Maybe it's just the way I have them stored. But I tend to use the brush end when I'm trying to lift my color. And I'm going to come in here where that one little dot was and just run that over it, and it's already erased it. Now, if it was a larger piece that went out of the line or a deep dark color, you might have to go over it 2 or 3 times. So my tip is go over it just gently, right along where you went out of the line, let it dry completely, then go over it again and do that 2 or 3 times till the excess color is gone that you don't want there. But it is a great tool to use with your blends. So that's our flowers, all colored. I'm gonna set those aside. And then I'm gonna grab my Wink of Stella again. And I'm gonna come in and just do the center of the flowers on here. So I am a less is more girl. I usually just do the centers of the flowers. But the hummingbirds, just from remembering all the hummingbirds I had in Arizona, they were so vibrant and shiny and sparkly that I really felt the entire bird needed the Wink of Stella, so they got it. But over here, we're just doing the center of these flowers like that. Okay, let's grab our card and finish putting this together. So I want these flowers to lay over on the side here. I want it to stay on the card and kind of frame the Y on the You're in My Thoughts. And to do that, all I'm going to do is come up here at the top on these 2 sides and place a dimensional. I'm not going to put any other glue underneath here. If you're worried for some reason that it's not going to stay, you could put some Tombow on here to hold it, but I don't think it's necessary. And by doing this, I'm not adding any more bulk to my card. I already have dimensionals behind this layer, but the part that's touching this card, this layer, is not going to have dimensionals behind it. It's just going to be flat on there, but there's going to be dimensionals here kind of holding it up. So we still really just have 1 layer of dimensionals on here. And then next I'm going to take my hummingbird, and I want my hummingbird to be coming down so his beak is going on this flower right here, because that keeps his wings below the top of the card. And I want his tail to come off just a little bit over here onto this peachy part. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing. For this one, I'm just going to put 2 dimensionals under his wings. But on this one, because his beak is so very narrow, it kind of pops up when you lay him on top of that flower. So I am going to come in and add just a touch of Tombow to the back of that beak, and that'll help it lay down onto the flower and not pop up. So let me just get just a little bit. Remember with Tombow, less is more. If you put it on and it seems like you have too much, go back and use a piece of paper or cardstock to remove some of it, because you don't want it oozing out on your card. So I'm just going to place his beak and make sure that his tail is above the words there. Just like that. And then push down on those 2 dimensionals up here. So now you have all of this on dimension. This is popped up, this is popped up, and this is, but you really only have 1 layer of dimensionals, which is great for going through the mail. Now this has the Tombow on the back of it. I'm going to lay a block, like you've seen me do before, right on top of there to hold that down. So hopefully that will adhere really well. And while that's happening, we're going to tie a bow. So my bow for this card is using the bordered ribbon. It is Lost Lagoon, which is such a good coordinating color. Look how Lost Lagoon and the Pretty Peacock go together so well. Probably need about 7 inches or so of this ribbon to tie a bow like this, but I'm just tying it right off the spool. And if you're at home and can do that, it's better because you waste less ribbon. This way I'm not having to trim off a ton of excess because I didn't know exactly what I was going to need. I tie the bow the size I want it, come in with my ribbon cutting scissors and trim the ends a little bit so they're even. And then this is all the waste I have. So that's how I love to tie bows if I can. Of course, for classes, I'll cut the pieces or tie the bows. But if I can do them right off of the spool, it's the best because I have the least amount of waste. Okay, there. His little beak is now adhered down. We're going to take this bow and a glue dot. And I'm just going to add it here at the bottom on my Calypso. Just like that, so it kind of frames that little sentiment on the bottom. And then we're going to add some gems. So the gems I chose for today are the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. These are in the annual catalog. They are a great value because you get 200 gems in a package. So I love that. 200 is a lot of gems, guys. That goes a long way. So you get 200 of them. I'm going to pull out some little tiny ones. So we're just going to use tiny ones on here because I think there's enough going on. But I want a little bit of blingy color. And I'm going to grab my light Pretty Peacock. Now I tried one earlier with the dark Pretty Peacock, but it made it a little too dark for me. The light Pretty Peacock still allows that opalescent color, the iridescence, to come through on these gems. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that to still show. So sometimes you have to play with what you're using. And I'm just going to gently use the brush tip and go around these gems a couple times so it picks up some of that Pretty Peacock color. It doesn't have to be a lot because once you get it on the white and with that Pretty Peacock background, it's all going to pull together and you'll see it. But you do want to have just that hint on there. And I do it really gently because I don't like to ruin the tips of my brush end. Eventually I do, and then I just use my nib end for coloring. But I try not to do that right away. I try to be very careful with it. Okay, so there are our 3 colored gems. Let's see if I put them against something white here. If you can see the difference in color now by coloring them with the Pretty Peacock. Even though it didn't seem like much, it really does stand out. And we're going to come in and we're going to place these onto our cards. So I'm going to place one here and one down here. And then the final one up here to form our triangle like we always do. All right. And that's our card, guys. I really want to encourage you to think about placing your celebration order and getting these memory more cards. The other thing about these that I didn't mention is that instead of ending up 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, they are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So they're 3/4 of an inch taller. So it gives you that more long image. It gives you a larger card to work with. And I think they are just so beautiful. So this is the card I'm giving away. I am going to show you again. I will come back in and add the little flowers to the envelope, and I will also add them to the inside of the card I'm giving away just to pull it all together. But I don't think I need to show you that. I think you know how to stamp, and you saw me stamp the sentiment. But this is the card and envelope that I am giving away. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think of not only these memories and more cards, but also of the Thoughtful Expressions stamp set and dies. They are just so beautiful. I cannot wait to play more and more with them. Other thing I wanted to tell you is I promised if you stuck around to the end, I would tell you a little story about my anniversary. So I've been a demonstrator 27 years now, And believe it or not, for the first 25 plus years, I thought my stamping anniversary was January 28th. That was the date on my paperwork. I always thought that was when I became a demonstrator. That is always when I celebrated. So this year I went in to look at my reports and just happened to click back on some old reports, and it says I became a demonstrator on February 3rd, which was a shock to me. It doesn't really matter. It's just a few days, but I like to do things by the book. So February 3rd is now my official Stampin' Up! Anniversary. And to celebrate for this week, it's just a small celebration, but to celebrate, any order you place now, today through Sunday the 11th at midnight, I will send you 2 cards and 2 envelopes, one of each color, in the mail with my thank you note to you as a thank you for ordering from me, because I want to get these in your hands and let you play with them, because I think they are just amazing and the colors are spectacular, and I cannot imagine that you won't love creating on them. So that's my little anniversary special to you. And then stay tuned, because at the very end of this month I'm hoping to do a mystery hostess party, or maybe the beginning of March. I haven't decided, but I think I'll try to do it in celebration so I can give away some extra stuff. So watch for details coming on that. But this is my anniversary special. You'll get a card and an envelope of blue, a card and an envelope of the Calypso, and those will be sent to you with a little thank you card like I send out each month, and you'll get that in the mail for any order that you place today through Sunday midnight. So thank you guys for being with me today. Sunday is Super Bowl, so have fun if you're going to be watching that. The Packers aren't playing, so I could really care less, but I do think we'll get together with Heidi and the crew and have appetizers and just hang out, and it'll be a nice day. We'll watch the game a little bit, I guess. And then, as always, I would love to be your creative coach and demonstrator. If you have any questions at all, if you need a catalog, if you want to know about getting the glass plate as a hostess or as a sign-up benefit, any questions at all, feel free to ask me. You can leave your questions in the comments, or you can email me at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. I do plan to be back here on Friday at my normal 10:30 slot. Hopefully I'll be all caught up on my sleep by then. So until then, guys, have a wonderful week. See you soon. Bye.